Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and I would like to introduce you to my new, to me, daily driver.
Get ready! Extreme automotive addiction! Yeah!
So yes, behind me is a 2013 Ford Taurus SHO. Now, for those of you that don't know, just a very brief history lesson. SHO stands for super high output. Back in 1989, Ford decided to build a performance sedan, four-door sedan, and at the time it had a V6. I think it was a 3-liter V6. I forget for sure, but it was a V6, and it was developing like 220 horsepower, which by today's standards sounds like nothing. But back in '89, that was pretty impressive, and it only came with a 5-speed manual transmission. The cars were capable of hitting 60 miles an hour in under 7 seconds, which again was very, very impressive. I was thinking about it. I mean, in '94 they came out with the Impala, which was considered pretty impressive, with the LT1, 260 horsepower. Now, of course, it was a bigger car, but it hit 0 to 60 in about the same amount of time. So for '89, Taurus SHO was very, very impressive. It went through a few generations and disappeared. Then it reappeared in 2010 as this. So these cars all came equipped, at least the SHOs did, with all-wheel drive and the 3.5-liter V6 that has the twin turbo. It's the EcoBoost motor, develops 365 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque, and it's impressive. It does well. It moves well. It's a good performance sedan. Lots of features on the car. This one's pretty much loaded. The only thing it does not have, unfortunately, is adaptive cruise control, which is something I wish I had. And it doesn't have the performance package, which I think gives you a little bit bigger brakes, a little stiffer suspension for track use, which obviously is something I'm not going to worry about. But other than that, the car is pretty much loaded, has pretty much all the features I could ever want. Go around to the back here and look. Has a nice back end. It's a nice looking car. It is a very nice looking car. And the thing is, you just don't see very many of them out there. When I was looking for this car, I had a rough time finding any that were out there available for sale. Prices were kind of crazy on them. Now, this particular one has just under 100,000 miles on it. I actually bought it from a dealer that's out of state, but they brought it to me, which was very, very cool. And, you know, really the price wasn't bad. The price was right there where it should have been. Car's super clean. The nice thing about it is it already had aftermarket wheels and tires, which is something I would have done, and it had the tinted windows. So there's really nothing I need to do to the car. I can just drive it and enjoy it. As you saw probably in the intro, it's super clean inside, but I will show you more about the inside and the trunk and everything like that. So I'm fairly pleased so far. I've only driven it maybe a few hundred miles so far, but so far I'm fairly pleased with the car. So let me take you inside, kind of show you what all it has. I'll show you the trunk, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it, take it around the block, that type of thing. So going inside, the car is very, very nice, has leather. Don't mind my paperwork right there. I just have that because right now I don't have a plate on the car. Still haven't got it registered. I've been waiting for the paperwork and everything like that from the dealer, but I'm going to get that done soon. But you can see it has the SHO badges and has a nice big screen there that just went blank on me. Paddle shifters. Let's go around the back, see what it's like with a car seat in it. So that seat's moved forward just a little bit, but there's decent leg room. It's got the rear air vents. Now this car does have heated and cooled seats. The rear seats are heated. It does have the moonroof. Like I said, it has paddle shifters. This car will even essentially parallel park itself. So it's kind of weird because all you do is you work the gas and the brake. And it basically does the steering wheel for you and tells you like when to pull forward, when to pull backwards, when to stop, that type of thing. It's a little weird, but it's kind of cool. It is kind of cool. This does have the sensors on the side to kind of tell you if there's anybody in your blind spot. It has sensors up front to essentially warn you to load up the brakes if you're coming up too close, too fast to a vehicle. And of course, it has a backup camera that will sense what's back there and let you know that you're getting kind of close to whatever's back there, and so you don't back into anything. So essentially, if you guys watched the video I did on my Kia and talking about that, I talked about what would make my Kia like the perfect vehicle. Essentially, this has a lot of what I wanted out of my Kia. Of course, it was more expensive, but it does have basically what I'm wanting or what I was looking for as far as that goes. Is it the perfect car? No, it's not the perfect car. And when I take it for a drive, I'll talk to you about the things that I think would make it a lot better. Maybe never perfect. Is there ever such a thing? But better. Going inside the trunk, I realize it is dark in there, but it is a very deep trunk. It's a good sized trunk. Plenty of room for luggage and any other thing that you might want to throw in there. Step back a little bit, maybe to light it up a little bit better. So yeah, overall it's a nice looking car. I like the white, I like the black rims, like the tinted windows. But let's take it for a drive, see how that EcoBoost motor does with that all-wheel drive, and I'll talk about some of my complaints with the vehicle and how I think this vehicle could actually be a little bit better. But don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it could be better. All right, so before I back out, just kind of show you the gauges. All pretty basic as far as that goes. Over here on this side of the screen, you can customize that. Look at your average MPG, distance to empty, things like that. You can customize the vehicle as to, you know, if you want the door locks to lock when you drive off or what have you. Over there, it just basically tells you the temperature for my climate control, that type of thing. And then I've got a array of buttons here on the steering wheel that I can do various things to my sound system, my cruise control, that type of thing. This is also touch screen, so I can move around that. It does have navigation on it. There are a couple of buttons right here that don't work. I would like to get them working. Other than that, everything does work on the car. Let me show you the backup camera. It's kind of has like a glare to it. It's not really the best camera. I tried cleaning the camera thinking maybe there was like something covering it or what have you, but that didn't seem to help. So yeah, you know, I'm not overly crazy about that, but this is an almost 10-year-old car. This does have telescopic. It does have memory seats, so it remembers me when I get back in the car. There's still a lot of stuff I haven't really figured out or haven't really screwed with in this car yet. But I figured out more of the basics, I think. So, I'll go this way. The car is already warmed up. I've already taken my son to daycare today, so it won't be a problem to just go ahead and step into it once I get past this rough part. So it moves well. It does move well. So now I'm going to kind of go in and I'm going to compare it to my Kia, because I really was impressed with my Kia. I liked the way my Kia handled, the way it performed, the way it rode, the sound system. And so I'm going to compare a few key features and tell you what I think. Ride quality, I have to give the edge to the Kia. The Kia was just a little bit smoother than this. This is a little stiffer, especially over these rougher bumps. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but I give the edge to the Kia. As far as performance and power, you know, initially when I first got this car, I was extremely disappointed because I took it out for a drive. I didn't drive it before I signed all the papers and wrote them a check, but I drove it after they left, after they had already left, because I figured they had already driven it like 200 plus miles. Why worry about driving the car? When I took it out and drove it, I was very disappointed. It was missing, it wasn't running right. I was like, man, my Kia would just kill this thing. So I started doing a little research online, started looking around. I pulled the plastic cover off and I found a vacuum line that had fallen off. I put it back on, that fixed the problem. So dodged a bullet on that one. I was very happy about that. Then suddenly the car is performing well, but you know, initially when I drove it, I thought, I don't really feel like this car is any faster than my Kia, maybe a little bit. As I have driven it more and more, I do realize it is faster than the Kia. It is quicker. I mean, if you look at the specs, it's about a second to 60 miles an hour quicker. This car, when they're new, 0 to 60 in the mid 5-second range, which isn't bad. So it is definitely quicker. Where I think this car is happiest is if I'm using about 80% throttle. That's where it feels right, because really to go and give you that other 20%, you don't get that much more performance out of it. You don't get that much more acceleration. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'm only using 80% of the throttle and it's going pretty good. I've tried foot braking it, tried build and boost taking off. It spins the tires just a little bit and goes, and it does launch pretty good. It launches pretty hard. Another thing that I'm going to give to the Kia over this is the sound system. Now, I do love the fact that this sound system, the Bluetooth hooks up immediately. It works flawlessly. I really like that, but it doesn't quite have the bass and the sound quality that I feel the Kia had. And they're close, don't get me wrong, they're very, very close. But it's just not quite there, and that's okay. That's okay. I could very easily add a subwoofer and do a few things to this and make it better if I wanted to. Like I said, this car has really so many features. I'm glad I made the choice to switch from the Kia over to this. I'm glad I made that move. I'm glad I bought this car, and hopefully this ends up being a very good car for me and it lasts me for a long time. And it's cool because it's a good family car. My son fits back there just fine. We could take it on a trip, we could go places and do things, but it's still got some decent performance if I step into it. But in getting back to performance, there's always room for improvement, as I've said many, many times. Okay. So yes, this car does go. It goes very nicely. I think if we really wanted to make this car even more refined, even better, get the EcoBoost motor up to the specs of the Raptor. That's about 450 horsepower, a little over 500 pound-feet of torque. Then you got something, and use a 10-speed automatic, because I love that 10-speed automatic. I think it would be perfect with this vehicle. Like I said, upgrade the sound system a little bit. I do wish this had adaptive cruise control, which the car does come with. Unfortunately, this one didn't come with it. I could add it. I don't think I want to spend the money to add it. I thought about it initially. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to drive it and enjoy it and hope that it continues to be a good car and lasts me as long as I need it to last me. Okay, 55, I'll step into it. And that was at my 80% throttle right there. Like I said, you really don't get any more if you take that other 20%. And a lot of cars that I've been in have been like that. So, you know, it is what it is. I know that performance mods can be done. There's some tuning that can be done to these vehicles, and you can get another 80, 100 horsepower pretty easily. Still very drivable, never even know the difference. I don't know if I'm gonna do that, probably not. I'm really focused on other things, as you guys probably well know right now. But that would make this car even more fun, even more enjoyable. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy driving it. I'm having fun with it. It is a very nice, comfortable, luxurious car with good performance. So in conclusion, it is a good car. It really is. I like it. I'm glad I bought it. Like I said, it already had the rims and tires. It had the tinted windows, which is something I would have done. If I thought I was going to keep it for a while, I would look into maybe doing some tuning to it and seeing if I could get it a little closer to that, like maybe 450 horse range. Because, you know, for 90% of the people, it's going to be fine. But there's always those of us that are gearheads and everything like that want more. No matter what, we want more. We want just that little extra edge, and it's no matter what we have, we want more. And I would like to have a little bit more out of it, but it's fine. It really is fine. My wife, we just bought her a 2018 Ford Flex. It has a 3.5 liter V6. It is not the EcoBoost. And I can tell you that this thing is markedly faster. Of course, it's also lighter, but it's got more horsepower and everything like that. And just after driving her vehicle on the trip and everything like that, it definitely does not have the guts this thing does have. And I know you can get the Flex with the EcoBoost as well, and I'm sure it would be much more spirited. But yeah, it's a good car. It's got a ton of luxury, really everything I could want, everything I need, everything that probably more than I need actually. I like the fact that it has keyless entry. I like the way that all works out. I like the fact that it's you just push a button and start the car. I really come to like that after having my Kia and having that in it. So it's a good car. Is it a perfect car? No, it's not a perfect car, but then again, what is? So, you know, with that, I'm going to end it. Yeah. And I'm going to thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. My P.O. Box and Instagram is in the description below. As always, guys, God bless. Take care. Have an absolutely amazing day.